Hey, 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 it's me, Hannah Sheila Montgomery, everyone's favourite YouTuber. I can't even joke about that. Anyway, today we have another Q&A video. I did one a couple of months ago, everyone seemed to enjoy it, thought I'd do another one, people left me questions, you know the shenanigans, you know the gig. Here we go, into the first question. Agun17 has asked, political question, what do you think will happen when Putin dies? I really don't know, because I don't really know enough about Russian politics. Obviously I know about the Soviet Union, and I know that Putin is an ex-KGB agent, so it's still quite communist in a way, I guess. It's still quite an authoritarian state, I know that much. But I don't know whether or not there'll be an election, or whether someone will just take over. I don't know whether Russia will change fundamentally. I don't know is the answer to that. The honest answer is I don't know. What do you guys think? Because that'll be really interesting to read. I just don't really know enough about Russia to understand and make a valid comment. I'm sorry. Okay, same person, Agun17. How would you describe a person with perfect mental health? Do you see yourself being able to become good friends with such a person? I don't think anybody has perfect mental health. They might think that they do, but everybody has their own insecurities, everybody has a past, everybody has issues within themselves. They might not identify it with being mental health, but I think that it is. So, in the answer, I don't think there is somebody with perfect mental health, and as a result I can't be friends with that person because they don't exist. But I try and be friends with most people. It's only absolute who I can't be friends with, really, because why would I want to be friends with somebody like that? I hope that answers your question. So, another question from Armando B. What type of guys am I into? Well, Armando, are you trying to flirt with me there, boy? Huh? Huh? Enough of that. I don't really have a particular type, because if you look at my past boyfriends, none of them look the same. I always go for funny, so I've always had very funny relationships where I've laughed a lot. And I often go for very tall men. So I once had a boyfriend who was very short, and I didn't mind because I was with him for about a year, so it obviously wasn't too big of an issue. But then realising afterwards, when I went on to my next relationship, how much I liked kind of having a tall, physical person to cuddle into, it meant a lot more to me. So that's the only kind of physical thing that I look for now, is tall men. So my next boyfriend was kind of 6'2". The boyfriend I'm with now is 6'7", so I've just gone a little bit crazy with the tall. But yeah, just as long as they are nice and good looking to me. I don't think they have to be conventionally good looking so that everyone thinks that they're attractive, just as long as I find them attractive and funny and they're kind and they treat me like a princess. That is all that I look for. Another question, this one comes from Alanko22. What 3 people, dead or alive, would you bring to your dinner table for an evening, and what dish would you cook? Ooh, now that is a good question. Let me have a little think. I would bring Oscar Wilde, because I just think that he is fascinating. What an amazing character of a human being that man had, and how suppressed he was for being homosexual in a time that homosexuality was very, very frowned upon and very illegal as well, hence why I ended up in prison. So Oscar Wilde would be one. Matt Smith, the guy who played Doctor Who and has also been in The Crown, which is one of my favourite programmes because it's so historical and it's about the British royal family, which is always fun to learn about. He's just such a fun character in real life. Like, seeing interviews of him, he's very funny, he's very witty, and I think he would bring laughter to the table. Oscar Wilde would definitely bring intellect. That's what you want. You want intellect, a bit of laughter. Who could the last person be? The last person would be David Bowie, because he has a connection to my hometown. His brother was in a lunatic asylum, a mental hospital, which is just down the road from me, so he knows the area that I live in very, very well. He is such a monument of a musician these days. And in his past, he is just so famous for creating such different music. I think he would be fascinating to talk to. So, they're my 3 answers. Oscar Wilde, Matt Smith, David Bowie. But what dish would I cook? So one dish, I would probably make schnitzel. I might make schnitzel today, actually. Oh, I love schnitzel so much, and I can make a really good one. So I would make them schnitzel and pommes. So schnitzel and chips. Yeah. Maybe I'd make the chips by hand as well. Cranberry sauce. Winter vegetables, spring vegetables, any kind of vegetables. Yeah, that'd be good. Schnitzel is my answer to that. Next question comes from Blackadder665. I heard that the UK, the boundaries or barriers between the social classes are still quite strong. In your opinion, is this true? Have you experienced this in any way? Yeah, Blackadder665, you're right. The boundaries of social classes are strong. Very strong, maybe even stronger than ever at this point, because the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, and as a result the gap between the wealth is changed a lot. So there is definitely a lower class, working class, a middle class and an upper class, for sure, and the upper class have so much money and the lower class have so little money. I haven't really been hindered too much because I went to an okay school. I went to a normal school, a state school as we call them, so anyone can go to that from any background. No money, you don't have to pay anything. I could have gone to a really good university if I'd worked hard enough, but I didn't, so I went to a normal kind of average university, and I don't think I've been hindered too badly because I would class myself as quite middle class. So middle class is just kind of where your family have enough money to own their own house, own cars, have food on the table all the time, and just, you know, have a comfortable life. The upper class are the ones with the ridiculous amounts of money, own several houses, several cars, just have a ridiculous amount of money. And I think the main difference is between the upper and the lower class. The middle and upper class, there's quite a lot of crossover between the two, and the same with the lower and middle class, because you have upper middle class and lower middle class. So obviously they are, those boundaries are a little bit blurred, but between the lower class and the upper class there is such a huge difference in terms of everyday lifestyle and opportunities, because if you've been to a school that charges 30 grand a year to attend, as opposed to a state school in a rough area which is failing in terms of its teaching, obviously your opportunities are going to be so limited as a result. The person who goes to the 30 grand school is going to end up at a top university in Cambridge or Oxford, and with money as well to throw behind them to live a good lifestyle. Whereas the lower classes are either going to end up on benefits because they haven't got the education to get a good enough job, or they're going to work jobs that pay them the minimum wage, which is obviously, there's nothing wrong with that because I have been working minimum wage jobs my entire life, but they are rather put upon a lot more because they haven't had the opportunities that people from the upper class have. So yeah, is the answer to the question. There are a lot of difference between the social classes within the UK still, for sure. And then we have the last questions here from Holger, who is one of my patrons. Please do check out my Patreon if you have a couple of minutes, because you get some quite nice benefits for being a patron of mine. Thank you very much. Holger says, why do you hate Germany so much that you exclude Germany-based questions? So in my last Q&A, I asked people to ask me questions that weren't about Germany. Tried to explain it there, but I'll explain it a little bit more for Holger. Essentially, because my main video on this channel blew up for me, got over 100,000 views, sorry, when I only had 100 subscribers at the time. That was insane, and it was about Germany, so as a result, all my subscribers that came in from that were all German, which is amazing. I'm so happy because I love the German people, I love the German culture, but that's all I end up saying now, is because I do a lot of videos geared towards my subscribers, because obviously people subscribe to me, I want to keep them happy, I want to do videos that they will enjoy. But when it's a Q&A, all I end up answering is the same questions over and over again. Why do you love Germany? When did you first go to Germany? Where have you been in Germany? Blah blah blah. It's always just about Germany, which I don't mind doing once or twice, you know, but I just wanted some different questions this time, which I have got from the previous people, so that is why. I don't hate Germany. I would have thought that would have been quite obvious by the amount of content I do relating to Germany, so please don't think that. Ich liebe Deutschland, forever and always. Next question from Holger. How come you have a rabbit? Aren't they pretty useless as a pet? How dare you, Holger? How dare you? Crumb is out right now. He's right down there. You see? Look at him. He's so cute. How can you say he's a useless pet? Yeah, he's not a dog, but cats aren't cool, are they, really? I mean, they can be cuddly sometimes, but they're quite independent. So Crumb is the same. Crumb is an independent rabbit. But he's fun. He has hyper spurts. He runs round and round and round. He comes and sits on your lap or on your chest and you can stroke him. And he's lively. He doesn't just sit there. He's always running around and nibbling things and being a pain in my butt. So I don't think he's a useless pet. I think he's great. Okay? And the last question I'm going to answer, which is a little bit Germany related, but I don't mind because it's not the usual things I answer. I saw that you wrote a paper on Magda Goebbels and I realised that I know next to nothing about the role of women in the Nazi regime. Any recommendations on literature on the topic? Well, as you may have seen, I have recently done a video about Nazi Germany literature, so please do go and check that out if you would like answers to that particular question. In relation to the role of women, I have a lot of books I can recommend. As a result of doing a dissertation on Magda Goebbels, I know a lot about the role of Nazi women. Would anyone be interested in seeing a video about various books to do with the role of women in Nazi Germany and Magda Goebbels and her fellow Nazi wives? Because I could definitely do a video on that. Please do let me know if that sounds interesting and I shall do it for you. So that is the last question of the Q&A. That is us done for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was interesting. If you do have any more questions for me, do leave them in the comments below and I can check them out and hopefully do another Q&A video in a month's time or so because I find them quite fun to do. It's always fun to answer questions, you know, especially when they're quite interesting and different. I really enjoy it. Ask me weird stuff. Not like weird, creepy stuff, but like weird stuff. Stuff that isn't like, do you have any brothers and sisters? Just, you know, random things that you want to know. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video and I shall see you very soon for another one. So long, my friends. Goodbye.